In today's video, we're going to check out the Xreal 1 Pros. Now, these are the upgraded version of the Xreal 1 that we've reviewed on the channel before. One of the things I loved about those glasses was the functionalities, the slimness of the design, having an AR experience on the go, the ability of carrying with you a massive display that practically fits in your pocket, and you can carry it and connect and use anything that provides video over USB-C, and that makes it so much more functional. We also have the Xreal Eye that optimizes the experience to give us even a fourth, I would say basically a fourth option of being able to see different experiences that you can only do with that camera. Also, capturing videos and taking pictures. So without further ado, these are the Xreal 1 Pro glasses with the Xreal Eye. Let's check them out and see what makes them so special and why I believe these are the best AR glasses on the market to date. Like and subscribe and make sure you hit that bell icon so that you're always notified to whenever we have new videos for you on the channel. And first and foremost, if you've ever used an Xreal product before, the unboxing experience is very much a continuation of what we've seen before. We got a very nice hard shell case that's provided here directly to protect the actual glasses, as well as carry with you the chamois to be able to clean the glasses, as well as the USB-C to C cable that you need to use to connect to your device. Other than that, for the most part, everything is pretty much included in here. We have a couple of replacement pieces here for the nose pads, as well as the ability, if you want to be able to use your own little glasses, or essentially basically your prescription glasses in there. From that point on, if you want to be able to pick up the Xreal Eye, that's a separate accessory you need to be able to pick up. And that provides an experience that you can't do without having that. Essentially, it's putting a camera in between your eyes, basically a centered experience where typically we will be looking, it's the same eye level as your eyes, and you're able to capture images as well as videos from that, which makes it a very unique experience. And the nice thing about it is all of that is captured and stored on the actual camera. You can transfer it to your device over USB-C. So as you're using your glasses, if you want to be able to capture something, you want to do a quick FPV type of an experience, you have it right there in your hands and it's ready to go. When you are shooting video, just for reference, it does illuminate the lights on that so that people in front of you know that you're shooting video, and B, you're also able to get a little bit of illumination if you're getting a little bit up close to that. But other than that, it's pretty nice. Now, the optics that we have in here are still supported with the Xreal X1 chip. This is at its core, the experience maker that allows us to actually have the anchoring, the follow mode, the no motion sickness when you're watching content, or even the ability of changing the different settings within the system. Now, the field of view here on the Pros are 57 degrees as opposed to the 50, so that's substantially bigger here. Also, the lenses here are still Sony lenses, but they're basically at 0.55 micron OLEDs here as opposed to the 0.68. Of course, we have 4 million pixels here. It's a 1080p 120 Hz refresh rate display. We have up to 700 nit brightness here as opposed to the 600 nits that we had on the standard one. And of course, we have optical IPD supported here as opposed to just software IPD adjustment in there. Sound by Bose, of course, still supported from both of them. And although it's technically slightly slimmer on the design, it's a little bit heavier at 87 grams as opposed to the 84 on the Xreal 1. Now, all of that basically says what we're getting. These are basically the specs on paper. And how does it actually perform? For me, I've been testing it with many devices. First and foremost, I started using it with the Legion Go S, and that was one of my favorite experiences. I actually use it to edit content on my laptop when I'm traveling because it is an absolute beast when you're using it in a small confined area. You're sitting on a plane, you're basically inches away from the seat in front of you, and the tray barely holds your laptop, let alone even a secondary display to be able to put there. Having something like this where I'm having my playback video play directly in the glasses while still keeping them in transparency mode so that I can see the bottom area of my glasses below, so my laptop is in front of me, I'm still able to see my actual timeline and I can edit there, but the playback is on the glasses, makes it so much more functional. Now, switch that over, and let's say I want to be able to watch some content. I've actually used it in slightly different experiences. I've used it with my X8 Pro. This is an Oppo device that supports video out. I've also used that on a plane as I was traveling here for an event. But the nice thing about it is, although I was confined to a small seat, I was not by any means skimping on the experience. I had a large display in front of me, really good earbuds to be able to listen to audio there, primarily because the sound by Bose here, although sounds great, on an airplane, you do need a little bit more of that personal experience. But otherwise, you're actually able to enjoy the content from this with some really good speakers. But that's my travel setup, the way I like to use it when I'm traveling and I'm sitting in a small confined area. Where I want to take it to the next level is when I start using it with, let's say, not just my laptop for editing, but using it, let's say, with my OnePlus Pad. Now, this one is a OnePlus Pad, the brand new one that just got announced, and it's a massive 13-inch display. It supports video out. I used it even with my Red Magic Astra tablet that I was playing with. It's a gaming tablet that supports video out. You're using the tablet as the controls, but the display as the actual experience itself. So it makes it so much more than you can do normally. That's the best way I can describe it. It's like carrying, again, a large display with you anywhere you want to go that supports 120 frames per second refresh rate. And we're going to talk about the modes that we get there. But the next thing that I really loved about it is with the brand new Galaxy Z Fold 7 and the Z Flip 7, both are supporting obviously video out, and we've seen them before. The Z Flip 7 is the first time we've had a flip phone from Samsung supporting DeX. If you're not familiar with DeX, DeX is a laptop-style UI that is built into Samsung devices. They're higher-end devices. So the Z series in the past has been basically kept purely on the Z Fold side. So the Z Fold 7 absolutely supports it, and it works absolutely great. You could use the device as a mouse and as gesture support. It also supports wireless, but what I wanted to focus on here is, well, I'm able to use my devices and actually be able to turn off the display and still play back content. DeX provides me that experience because it's like a laptop experience. So I can open up my smartphone, I can connect it directly to the glasses, turn on the mouse or the gestures on the mouse directly on the display, start a video up, and then at that point, just close my phone, turn off the display, and then keep it connected and powering my glasses. And from there, I'm ready to go. I can actually enjoy an entire movie, not have to worry about a phone, because historically, that's been my one thing. When you use an Android device, unlike iPhone, because again, this also supports iPhone since it uses USB-C now, we've always had to have the display showing in front of us. An example would be on the trip that I was actually coming here. My Find X8 Pro, although I was watching Netflix, I needed to keep my display on. So the display was on. I was still enjoying it at a much bigger form factor in the AR glasses, but the people around me could technically still see the content that I'm watching. For me, this is something that's improved now with DeX using it on the Z Flip 7 or even on the Z Fold 7. You launch it, you run it, and you're able to enjoy the content on the go, and the display doesn't have to be consuming power, which means we actually have longer playback. Now, the other thing I want to mention, of course, is obviously there's no power provided from the glasses. They need to pull power from your device. So make sure you manage that when you're using it for an extended amount of time. The Xreal Eye starts becoming a little bit more functional. Once I received that, because I didn't have that with the Xreal ones, I actually didn't have the opportunity to experience the almost, I want to say, like the fourth option of being able to watch content. There's three that are standard. There is the follow mode. It uses the X1 chip to keep tracking of my head movement, and it keeps the image that I'm watching, be it images or video, tracking to my eye movement. So if my head moves, the image moves with it, and it's a natural move. There's no motion sickness being generated. The second mode is anchor mode. Now, anchor mode does exactly what it says. It's anchoring an image, and it puts it right in front of you. Now, what that means essentially is that whatever the display you're setting there, you can set the size and the actual width of it. So the pitch and the size are set directly within the glasses. The settings are super simple and very functional. We have a power button, or essentially like a function button that's on the bottom that you're able to use. And of course, we have a volume rocker as well as basically an action key kind of a button on the top. But the moment is, that's the second option. Anchoring it was the second one, and essentially it just puts it where you want to look. And if I look away, for the most part, that image stays where it is. But the third option is almost like a side view where it pops it up to the top right. So you can actually keep the glasses in transparency mode and have that have that video running on the top right or top left. Once you do that, it becomes very functional. You can actually have the ability of not only paying attention to what you're doing, but you can also have somewhat of a side view video running on the top right. Really nice, very smart. When you use the camera, because it starts using spatial information, it's able to actually track what's around it. Meaning, when I anchor the device, essentially when I turn on the anchor mode for that, it allows me to basically set it in one spot. And if I move my eyes towards it, if basically set it like where we're looking at right now, but I turn my face, the moment I turn my face, the glasses become transparent. It almost goes back to normal mode. But anytime I go back to that, I actually can go, and it basically goes back into normal dimming mode. So it knows where the content is sitting there and spatially is aware of it. Also, it points of view when you move around it. The standard anchor mode pretty much just reassesses the image to basically be facing you the entire time. When you're using the camera, it allows you actually kind of almost a 3D effect. You're able to actually have more of a tilted display. It's almost like you're looking at a monitor, but you're looking at it from the side, so the angle is slightly positioned away from you. Again, something that's very unique and only capable using the actual the Xreal Eye. And speaking of that, just again, for kind of confirmation here, it shoots at roughly about 1080p video, slightly higher than that. You're able to shoot at 60 frames per second, which is the best resolution that we're able to get. we're also able to capture content. In good lighting, it's going to work perfectly, as I'm showing you guys with some of these examples. I've also had the opportunity to record that while I was on the plane. It wasn't the perfect lighting environment, but you could still see where I was. You could still see the content. You saw the phone exactly standing in front of me. That's exactly how my setup was. I was sitting in the middle seat. I had a neighbor to my right, to my left, and I had a massive display, great headphones, and I enjoyed content. Absolutely fantastic there. You're able to game at 120 frames per second anywhere you want to be. Again, the right system will help you. Now, currently, unfortunately, it's not supporting the Nintendo Switch 2, but it does actually, I'm hoping in the future we'll be able to have some accessories that will allow us to do exactly that, essentially connecting to it. I've been using it with my Mac. I've used it with basically the Steam Deck. I've used it with the Legion Go. I've used it with my multiple tablets, essentially the OnePlus Pad, as well the Pad 3, as well as using with the Astra. This is a gaming tablet, again, designed for that. I've used it with Oppo, my Oppo Find X8 Pro, my Fold 7, as well as my Flip 7, which by far, I feel like this is the best companion here because of the form factor and the size. It's small enough to be able to not only be functional, but it's also powerful enough because of DeX to allow us to actually use our device and watch content without actually draining battery by using the display, having it running at the same time. So again, there's a benefit to having this functionality. We've covered all of the capabilities, all of the things that you're able to do. How is the image and how is the quality of the content that we're able to see here? Now, similar to what we've had with the Xreal ones, these are definitely very clear. I would say basically the center experience is very sharp and very clean. On the edges, it's still a little bit better than what we've had with the Xreal ones, but there is a little bit of fringing in there sometimes, depending if you're trying to read. I mean, again, for the most part, when we're using glasses like these, we're always looking dead center into where we want to be able to see the content. The edges are a little bit harder. Reading content on this is not hard. I've been able to read pretty well on web pages that I'm able to browse on there, as well as looking at text when I'm using translations or dubbing on the actual videos that I'm watching. So it's not an issue there. Again, it just ends up being more of it's actually sitting at the edges of the actual display. But if you're reading it big enough and setting it far enough, you won't have that problem at all. They've worked with me for about 5-6 hours at a time. Again, I was binge watching episodes after episodes after episodes. I've done them, take them with me when I've gone on a trip to Paris, so it has not been an issue at all. I've loved the Xreal ones. The One Pros are not going to disappoint. The price is a little bit higher, but that is justified by what you're getting here with the improvements. Again, better field of view, higher brightness, and of course, just more functionality. And it's a slimmer design, slightly heavier. That's the opposite of what you would expect when it goes slimmer, but definitely very nice. So I do want to say thank you very much to Xreal for not only allowing me to check out the Xreal ones, but also the Xreal One Pros, and also getting a chance to play around with the Xreal Eye. The Xreal Eye is an interesting approach. If you like to do a lot of FPV content, this is going to work for you great. If you're liking to be able to take snapshot images, you can customize the keys in here to transfer them from one click to take an image, press and hold to take a video. You can customize a lot of different things in the settings. I think it's definitely something to consider. And what I refer to essentially is the placement of the camera itself. It's positioned in a much more natural place. Most devices that we've seen on the market right now have cameras sitting on the edges of the frame of your glasses. This one is sitting dead center between your eyes. So the field of view, or basically the POV, the point of view where it's sitting here, is exactly where your eyes would normally be looking. So if I'm looking at you guys directly, that's exactly how the camera is going to be doing it. It doesn't have to be too wide for it to kind of capture and so on. So as a solution, I feel like it's the right placement. It's also nice enough that you don't have to keep it in there all the time. You can remove the camera, so the glasses don't need to have that. So it's really more of a customization type of a solution. So again, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you very much to Xreal, and thank you for checking out this video. I'll see you in the next video, and I hope that you found that this video is hopefully functional for you and makes your life even better. Bye-bye for now.